Welcome to the Tom Matt Show. You are walking through the front door of the retirement zone. And now, your host, Tom Matt.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of the Tom Matt Show. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're listening to us on radio, thank you. If you're listening to us, if you're listening, watching, doing anything, thank you. We're very, very grateful. Gratitude pours out of our heart because, you know, we've been doing this thing 15 years now, 15th season, and we're actually coming up on season 16 here in a couple of months. That's kind of crazy. I'll tell you, it's a joy. It's fun. It's interesting, and it's very entertaining, educational. I hope you guys find it that way too. Show's done very, very well, and it continues to get better because we have really good people that help us, like my guest today. But I'll get to that in a second. Last week, Henry Meyer was here, and I hadn't had Henry on in a while, calling that one the resilient entrepreneur. Henry Meyer has really done some great things in his life. For those of you who will recognize that name, he owns Eastside Fish Fry in Lansing, Michigan. He has a little bit of a checkered past with his incarceration that he's very openly talks about for marijuana growth before it was legalized. He spent some time in the federal pen for that one, but he came out of it, and now he is just again the resilient entrepreneur. And talks about the restaurant, how we got that. He talked about his daughter. We love the family stuff, and then he talked about 420, his new business that he has opened, a legal marijuana dispensary and grow building. And so he's doing fantastic stuff, and it's really a really, really good show. So please check that one out. That was The Resilient Entrepreneur with my buddy Henry Meyer of Eastside Fish Fry. He's doing some great stuff. I got to tell you, that guy is something else. Just like the cat that's coming on today. We're so close. I mean, we don't need to talk all the time, but we talk all the time because it's like Mitch Anderson, my producer, our producer, is the man. I mean, I'm calling this one the producer's top shows from the past year. And then we'll get a little bit of what's happening with Mitch.
Yeah,
but Mitch Anderson has been doing this. I'm not even going to have her read a bio. I just let Mitch do his thing because since he is the producer, I think he knows how this show flows. How you doing, Mitch?
Hey, Tom, I'm doing good. And remember, everyone listening, check those archives at tommattshow.com. There's a whole boatload of topics. I mean, every week I produce this episode. I've been doing it for about, we were talking, Tom, 4.5 years? And the multitude of conversations that occur every week, I find very stimulating.
Thank you for saying that.
A lot of years. You're welcome. It's a lot of years to listen to your voice, Tom. So that says something about the conversation.
I have such confidence. If you guys, and I'm not trying to, lose my producer or anything and give him too much work, but I'm telling you, if you want to do a really good podcast and think about it as a radio show, when I coach people, I say, think of your podcast as a radio show, build in breaks. But Mitch has helped us with guest profiles. He's helped us with guest equipment. He has been an advisor. So he has availability for a lot of technical things and or producing because he's the best. I mean, but we'll let you talk about that, Mitch. First things first. Let's talk about the family. This is your life. We can get into all the stuff that you would like to let people know that you're capable of doing and all of your expertise, but let's talk about the family.
Yeah, family's good. Coming up on, summer, and I'm really excited about that. My wife, Deborah, is, she's doing great work in the community, great work, self-work. Very proud of her.
Did you mention to her about coming on the program?
I did.
Is she game?
I got to send the introduction to you too. I asked her which email she wanted to use, and she's like, "Why don't you go ahead and use my work one for that?" So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that because Deb is what is her
registered dietitian?
Registered dietitian. So she fits perfectly for what we want to do. So I apologize for not having her on before, but we're gonna rectify that soon. So I'm glad to hear Deb's doing good.
It'll happen right on time.
Great.
And my oldest, Levon, and my youngest, Hollis, they're both doing wonderful, playing sports. We ride BMX bikes and scooters, and skateboards together nonstop.
Levon's what, 9 now? And Hollis is what, 6?
6, yeah, you got it.
Fun ages, bro. Fun ages.
It's really cool. We're doing a lot of stuff. It's outside together, which I can't get enough of. I've got my 8-foot long tabletop BMX jump out in the terrace now. And so we're just like skying over this thing. Well, I'm skying right now. They're 9 and 6. But we're having a blast, Tom.
Let me ask you a question there, my producer friend. Good friend. Very good producer. Do you wear a helmet?
Oh, dude, I'm full pads. I got pads on right now as we're having this conversation, because I was riding before to get myself a little amped up.
Would you advise people to do that safety kind of stuff?
So I have even gone as far as getting a letter from my doctor, because with safety equipment for outdoor sports, a lot of times that it's covered under like HSA accounts. And so if you have a letter from the doctor, then a lot of times that protective equipment can be tax exempt. And some of that stuff gets pretty high up there in cost, especially to protect like my 37-year-old bones. I'm not about to skimp out on my protection,
don't skimp out on helmets and pads, everybody. Don't go to, no offense to Myers, no offense. I mean, they probably, if they have the good brands, but I'm telling you that kind of equipment, getting quality stuff, like Mitch is saying, that's a great tip, Mitch.
Hey, it's been cool for me for sure. And shameless plug to a company called Demon United. They make some of the best pads I've ever seen, and it has protected me quite a bit. It hurts to fall.
If Demon United hears this, or anybody that's with Demon United hears this,
I'll send it to them.
And they want to give a little bounce to Mitch and myself, we would be glad to talk to you. We would be. And the way we do it with Mitch and I, what we do, you come on the show first before you become a sponsor. We want to see if there's a fit, and we want to get to know you. And so if Demon United wants to come and talk about promoting their stuff,
I would love to talk about safety with them.
And maybe we'll do we can do the 3-way conference like we've done before with some of the shows. That would be fun.
It would be.
Set it up.
But that's been cool. That's been so good riding with the boys, and Deborah got rollerblades. And so we are just a crew.
Awesome. Yeah. So stay healthy and make sure you do all those. How are the boys doing in school?
Dude, they're in a 2-way immersion program.
What does that mean?
And I mean, so they're like 70% of their day is in Spanish.
Wow.
Yeah, and Hollis is in kindergarten and Levon's in 4th grade. And so they're mentally, I wouldn't say exhausted, because they're just soaking so much in, right? But they're learning so much in such a different way. And we play a lot of music together, as you know. And we've had conversations about like, well, why, Dad? Why are we doing this in Spanish? Like, I don't understand. And one of the angles that I really appreciate is that like we learn different cadences and different tempos. And so if we're speaking or learning or around different languages, then we're going to play in different meter and express ourselves differently because of that sonic difference in the language. And so there's multiple reasons that I really think it's important, but that's one of them. That
is awesome, man. I'm happy to hear about that. And I know that you're a prolific musician, and the kids are exposed to that too. And that's fantastic. Doing this when your kids are young, everybody, exposing kids to something outside of an iPad or a phone, and no offense to technology, because I love technology myself, but having the physical, tactile kind of thing that you can do is very, very good. Think about when we were younger. Think about when Mitch is obviously quite a bit younger than I am, but he's an outdoor guy. He does a lot of technical stuff, but he needs to get out of his studio and go out there and do his thing.
Guns. I grew up around a lot of firearms. I mean, I was shooting and hunting, and I don't hunt anymore, but all those outdoor tactile skills. We're going to go long on this thing, so I'm going to keep this thing tight. We got the shows, Mitch's top shows. We still need to consider and continue that This Is Your Life with Mitch. This always happens. Probably take the next segment to talk about some of his. Mitch, sure.
Give me a 20-second what you want to talk about in the next segment about that mental health thing.
You and I have talked a lot about sobriety. And in August, it'll be 2 years for me. And I have just discovered a lot since the last time we spoke.
We will catch up on all of that. So stick around, everybody. That was a little play for that. And then we'll get to the top 4 or 5 shows that we had in the last year that you want to go back and listen to. Mitch Anderson's here. So happy to have him on. He's my producer. The producer's top shows and other things. This is The Tom Matt Show.
Welcome to the Tom Matt Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Tom Matt Show. Thank you to Sandy for bringing us in. Thank you to Mitch Anderson for setting all that up. And the only time you ever hear Sandy's voice is on the bumpers that Mitch created. It's really good. Thank you to Vanessa for all of the video stuff that she does. I got to throw plug to our sponsor, Brock Fletcher, selling team of Keller Williams Realty, where trust is their middle name. They are going strong. I'm going to be joining a mastermind group with Brock. He's got a new building that's coming online. They're doing fantastic. The thing about the selling team, I'll give you the phone numbers here in a second, but the thing about the selling team I want to really emphasize is they are a team, so they don't cannibalize each other's work. What I mean by that is they have specialists, just like a baseball team or a basketball team, or a football team, 11 players. Each player has their defined role and they complement each other where they don't cannibalize each other. That's the great thing about Brock Fletcher and the selling team of Keller Williams Realty. This is how you reach them. The office number is 517-853-6408. 517-853-6408. His cell phone, Brock's cell phone number is 517-303-3262. 517-303-3262. Go online to kwsellingteam.com, kwsellingteam.com. Go to tommattshow.com. Like Mitch was telling us earlier about all of the older episodes and the website, but you go to the bottom of that homepage where we have our 12 or 13 different topics and categories, so you can easily search through and find fun things to listen to. But at the bottom is our links to our friends and especially Brock and his website, which is out of this world. It's fantastic. Lastly, I want to say hello and thank you for listening to Joan Wright of Williamston. Joan, I hope you're doing well. Joan is a fan of the show. She listens to us on WKAR every Sunday, and we're on WKAR from Michigan State University on Sundays at 5. So happy that she listens to us, and she reached out to Brock and said that she really likes the show, and it's just she's now the matriarch of our show. And I've never even met Joan, but she listens, and someday we will. So that'll be cool. Today we've got
Did I tell you, Tom, that I was? Sorry, I interrupted you. My bad. I was excited. Hold
that thought, because I want to reintroduce my man. My man that's ready to jump out of the box here, Mitch Anderson. No, that's all right, man. We have fun with the radio show. You know how this is not scripted at all. No, this is conversational, fun, entertaining, and educational stuff. The producer's top shows from the past year. What did you want to say there, partner?
I just haven't quite got over the producer interrupting the host live. I mean, I'm sorry. It was so good, Tom.
You edit the show, man. You do what you do.
It was so good. It was so funny. Holy cow, that was good. That was good radio in my book. I was going to say, I finally heard driving home from Lansing. I heard the show on WKAR.
Oh, nice.
Over the tower. Man, that tower sounds really good.
And tell everybody kind of where you live, because that tower is in East Lansing, Michigan.
Right. Yeah, I'm in Muskegon, Michigan.
And so
I'm West Coast.
So that's
driving
90
home
miles.
from Lansing. Yeah, but I was driving home through Lansing.
Okay.
To finally hear it. And so I just hadn't been driving through Lansing at 5 on a Sunday. I don't know, but man, that was so cool. So I just wanted to share that happened in that station. Thank you, WKAR. They have speaking of great teams, the selling team, WKAR team. Nice work.
Give them some props. Who do you usually deal with? Because that's kind of your end of our business. So give them some love.
I'm with Brad. Brad does amazing communication. He does amazing programming, and is really, stellar to work with and have worked with for a long time. So thank you, Brad.
Thank you, Brad, for carrying us on WKR. We're very, very blessed to be on the university. It took a long time to get on the station, and we've been with you quite a while now. So thank you again for doing that. Let's get back to This Is Your Life, man. We got some things. You've had some interesting things. You kind of planted the seed at the end of the previous segment, Mitch. Go ahead. Let's continue that thread.
Yeah. So I'll be 2 years sober from alcohol in August 3rd.
Congratulations.
And thank you. You and I have talked a lot about it.
I'm proud of you. Very proud of you.
I'm proud of you too. And thank you. So one of the things that I'm also diagnosed as bipolar 2 and ADHD. And so now that alcohol is out of my system, we've finally been able to look closer at my pharmaceuticals because I didn't I honestly didn't understand a lot of things, but for the sake of this conversation, I didn't understand the impact that alcohol actually had on the prescribed drugs.
Well, how about on the prescribed mental health?
Well, I know it
Right?
was not good, man. It was not good.
That's like feeding the dark side of the beast. I mean, it's like you're giving.
It was bad.
It's bad. It's just like
it was really. I'm very glad to be where I am.
Good for you. I'm happy for you, brother.
Thank you. But one of the things I found was so interesting. So I am seeing a psychiatrist. Yeah. And I decided to go through and do this like gene testing. They swab my mouth.
Yep.
And what I learned from that, I mean, it's so many pages of words I don't understand, blah, blah, blah. But going through it all, it essentially was like, this is how much of this part of the drug your body can take in before it rejects everything, and like what drugs work best with my body based on my genes. And holy cow, was that amazing to see. And for the most part, Tom, one of the things I'm most proud of about the whole process is that there were drugs on there that I remember taking and back at whenever and being like, man, this does not work at all. Like I gained a bunch of weight. I have no libido. I was like, whatever it may be, like this does not work for me. And come to look at the gene testing stuff, my body was right. It was just like the ultimate in validation that I listened to my body. I paid attention to what was going on. I stayed on my regimen, even though I was drinking at the time, but I still stayed on my drug regimen. And all those years later, now at 37, I was just proud of myself for being that like aware of my body. And so I'm changing a few things based on some of that. And it's going really well, but it felt good.
Sandy has done it. The gene test, I've done a lot of reading on that, a lot of research on it. And that's the thing about AI, everybody, and all of the technology that we have out there. Some people are freaked out by it and scared. It's just a tool. It's another tool. If it's used correctly, it can be very, very beneficial. And the gene testing is one area of human health that is going to make massive differences because they can tell, like Mitch is just describing, right, Mitch? Do you know which drugs are effective and which ones aren't?
Yeah. And that was really a huge learning curve for me. And also then learning what I'll be transitioning forward into.
Setting the pace, setting the plan, setting everything up. All right. We're going to come up on break here in a second. I'm going to reset this thing. Mitch Anderson, the producer, top shows from the past year and other things with Mitch, because Mitch always has a variety of good things to talk about. And as he is getting older, his children are getting older, his wife is doing well in her job. We're excited to continue to mature together. And I still think that I'm still maturing, everybody, even at this point in my life. You know what? The Bionic Man is the Bionic Man, and we keep doing radio whenever we can. Thanks to Mitch Anderson, our producer. I'm going to take this thing out. The producer's top shows and other things from the past year. Mitch Anderson is with us. This is the Tom Matt Show.
Thank you again to Brock Fletcher, real estate agent at the selling team with Keller Williams Realty. For more information on services provided by Brock, please call his personal cell phone at 517-303-3262 or by emailing Brock at kwsellingteam.com. This is the Tom Matt Show.
Welcome to the Tom Matt Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to this week's episode of Tom Matt Show. Mitch Anderson, the ultimate producer's with us, the producer's top shows and then some. Annually, usually, I like to get Mitch in more than annually, but he's been on it the last couple of years, and we do talk about the top shows on the radio program, and we're going to give you, so that in case you missed any of them, Mitch has a exquisite ear for our talent. He picks shows that I don't know. I mean, I like them all, so it's hard for me to choose. So it's nice to have him as like the coach who is the pro, and he can pick them. So that's what we're going to talk about here in a second. But I want to do the testimonial for Brock. Yeah. This is one of my favorite plug spots for the show. Talk about this. And again, the phone numbers to the selling team of Keller Williams Realty. Brock Fletcher, stud. 517-853-6408. Again, that's the office number. or Brock's cell phone number. Now, use the cell phone number, text him, leave him a voicemail. He will return your calls at 517-303-3262. You're going to wind up being just like Ben and Katie in Okemos. And this is their testimonial. This is right their words. Our experience with the selling team was excellent, bold type. They did what they said they would do, which was extremely helpful. That's bold type. They listened to what we needed in a home and found us several houses that met our criteria. If you can get one, great. They got them several to choose from. How nice is that? Thank you so much. We love, bold type, our new home. That's Ben and Katie from Okemos, Michigan. I mean, listen, you guys, I can do my testimonial because, again, we sold Big House Holt. We bought Little House Lansing thanks to Mikey Dedman, Stacy, and the whole crew over there. I mean, Brock's on the show a lot. The Reality of Real Estate. Go over to the website, TomMattShow.com. Click on the Reality of Real Estate, that little cartoon box that we have there on our topics and categories. And there's about 25 or 30 shows on the Reality of Real Estate. We cover everything. I mean, if you got questions, it doesn't cost you a dime. Just go check it out. All right. Mitch Anderson's here, the producer's top shows from the past year and then some. Mitch, if you missed the previous segments, you might want to go back and listen to the podcast because Mitch was giving us some very good advice, talking about his own personal journey and his sobriety, which I'm very, very proud of him. His gene testing that he did for his medication to help his mental health. And he's doing fantastic. And I'm so happy I'm so happy you're healthy. So let's get to the top shows. I can't wait to get a hold of the guests that I have no idea, everybody, and my former guests, what Mitch is choosing. And this is no slight against any, because we love all the shows, but these are shows that resonated with Mitch for some reason. Now he's going to tell us why and which ones they are. It's almost like the Academy Awards. This is the Academy Awards, the MAB of Tom Matt Show, hosted by Mitch Anderson. All right, Mr. Mitch Anderson, let's go for it. Go ahead. What are your shows? Let's start off and why.
So now that I'm thinking about it more like the Academy Awards, I really wish I had categories. So I might have to do I'm going to have to think of this. Okay, this is fun though. So the first one that I chose was the title of the episode was 50 Things to Do in a Lifetime that was with D. Leon Stokes. And I really dug that episode because I didn't expect the very first thing that was on his list, and that was travel. And I thought, when you can choose anything, if you're going to choose to write a book about 50 things you can do in a lifetime, and the very, very first number one thing on your list is travel, I think that's a headspace that I know I resonate in being. We talk a lot, and you, Tom, talk a lot and are very, very active in your personal physical health and the training aspects and the learning in that way. And that I could easily see being a number one. 50 things to do in a lifetime. Okay, get a personal trainer. I could see something that's so pointed on one's own wellness that could easily be a number one choice. And the fact that it was travel, though, I was an exchange student in Denmark for a year right after I graduated high school. So it was kind of a gap year.
I did not know that.
I lived in Aarhus, Denmark. And that I got to do so many neat things, but a group of the exchange students and I got to do a Euro trip all through Central Europe. I mean, it was incredible. So the different places, the different languages, I got to I was conversationally fluent in Danish when I left. But those experiences, in my opinion, really played a vital role in me learning how I was kind of being shaped in a way, because I do believe that our environments shape us and our outlooks. And when I left the box that I was in, and I could really focus on more myself, but also be in other people's boxes, that really was helpful to me. So travel, number one, that resonated hard for me. So D. Leon Stokes, and that was episode 18. season 15.
D. Leon Stokes, as I can refresh everybody's memory, and some folks in the mid-Michigan, Lansing area will know the name of Leon Stokes because the Stokes brothers are kind of famous for being extremely, extremely intelligent and great athletes. And Leon is just such a great guy. And now he's written 2 books. And I love helping authors promote their books. If you don't get on radio and promote, then you're missing out. But I find that interesting
too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
it's neat.
The traveling. That's interesting, Mitch, that you like that show because of that first topic. And traveling is good for your wellness, right?
Big time. Absolutely. It is for me. And so that was for sure. And these aren't in any order. Tom said to choose my favorites. There was no, first, second, third place. But man, we can make this as competitive as we want next time, Tom.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they just have to be good shows. And if they resonate with Mitch, that's the thing. It's nice to have Mitch's opinion. I have, again, as I said, I have no idea where Mitch is going with this. So to choose D. Leon Stokes is number 1, even though they're not in any sequential order here.
They're just good to listen to.
They're all good. They're all good.
How much time do I got, Tom?
You got about 2.5 minutes. So you want to set up the next one?
Yeah, I'll start another one too. Okay, so another one was no surprise because the more times you play, the better your odds. Dr. Debbie Heiser. She is the most appeared guest on the Tom Matt Show. And I really like.
Take a guess. How many times? Can you remember?
Oh man, was it like her 40th or something?
It's 45 times.
Wow.
Good guess.
Okay. Thank you. Because
you didn't produce all those shows. That was back before the Boomers Rock days. Debbie Heiser in 15 seasons. She's been on this show 45 times. Why do you think that is, Mitch?
I don't know. You tell me, because she shares good words. That's why. And you guys have great conversation together.
She's so awesome. I mean, and I can throw topics to her just like off the top of my head, and she just gets it. And she's never denied one thing. Now she's blossomed into this big force that's out there. She's one of the biggest podcast guests. If you have a podcast and you're looking for a really great guest, Dr. Deborah Heiser, hit us up, hit Mitch or myself up.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Because she has great knowledge. She's loaded with wisdom.
Can I share something about what I find different about the episodes that you and Debbie do together?
You got about 20 seconds and we can finish the thread. Go ahead.
No, and then she asks you more questions and you give more responses as the host in those episodes than any others.
Interesting. I never realized that. So this is what's so cool about doing this episode with Mitch, everybody, because it's sort of a critique. We always want to get better. I mean, we're always striving. Mitch is like, well, I'm going to go down the rabbit hole here and I got to go to break. But listen, Mitch has been such a great advocate for equipment. We're going to talk about that because he's going to give all his contact information. That's why you want to stick around here. Stick around, because when we come back, Mitch is going to give all his contact info, and then we'll talk about how he helped make me better, because I've got all kinds of stories about this, and I'm glad we're going down this. Mitch Anderson is a king. Love him. He's like a son that I never had. This is The Tom Matt Show.
This segment of The Tom Matt Show is brought to you in part by The Source of Light and Power by band leader Ark of All and broadcaster Mitch Anderson. Hear the sound that is endorsed by Odyssey headphones, linear tube audio, RME converters, and Peluso microphones at sourceoflightandpower.bandcamp.com.
Welcome to The Tom Matt Show.
Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody, to The Tom Matt Show. Mitch Anderson is with us, the producer's top shows from the past year and then other things, because Mitch is just a very articulate, great guy who's been through a lot in his life. He's overcome a ton. He's very open and honest about his alcohol problems and his mental health issues, but he deals with it. And if you guys want to if you need some help with equipment, if you need some help with producing, if you need a speaker on this topic on mental health, all of this stuff, raising great kids, Mitch Anderson's the man. He's got... Mitch, how would you like people to connect with you, and tell them all the things that you could provide, the services that you could provide?
Oh, We've just nailed it. If anyone wants to talk to me about anything that Tom just mentioned, you can find me on LinkedIn, Mitch Anderson, and my title on there is support your local community radio station. That's my title on LinkedIn. And so I guess another way, Black Circle Radio is my all vinyl program, radio program since
What's that all about?
2009. Yeah, it's about my feelings and how I'm feeling that day. I cut vinyl records of music that Archivall, my best friend, and I write and release and record together. And he's the one who wrote the theme song for the Tom Matt Show. And so that music, sourceoflightandpower.bandcamp.com. And then Black Circle Radio broadcast episodes are mixcloud.com/Black Circle Radio. So those would be the places to hit me up.
How about an email or phone number? You want to do any of that?
Black Circle Media Group at gmail.com.
There you go. Black Circle Media Group at gmail.com. Black Circle Media Group at gmail.com. Okay. Mitch Anderson, if you want to get a hold of it, speaking, coaching.
That would be public speaking, Tom. I've never done.
You would be awesome at it. And I would help you with that.
I think it'd be fun.
It would be fun. And I would help you with that because I've done so much of that kind of stuff.
I know you have.
Tell the listeners now on when you became my producer, we're digressing a tiny bit, but this is adding into your expertise and your quality as a producer. This is what he's helped me with, everybody. And he's helped a couple of my other guests as well. Dr. Tony Avellino, big, Tony. Tony's huge with his equipment, but tell everybody how you help me get better with our equipment and the setup here quickly, if you can do that.
Yeah. So if you're listening, maybe you've heard the little donor spot that is in the episodes where I talk about Source of Light and Power, and I say Peluso microphones, and I say RME converters, and these are equipment choices that we decided to go with, and Tom and Sandy decided to invest in to really rebrand and update the sonic characteristics of the Tom Matt Show. And when that was being done, we just had a lot of really good conversations about, I love talking about gain staging. I love talking about noise floor. I like talking about plosive control. I just listening to humans' voices is one of my favorite things. Sometimes so much that I completely don't hear what someone is saying because I'm hearing how they sound so hard. But then when you tell someone that, though, like, I didn't hear a word you said. I got lost in how you sound. That's a pretty awesome. I've never had that, like, someone respond poorly back to me.
That's so
when
awesome.
I've said that.
So
awesome. So I come from that side with my ears, and Tom and I are also both hosts. And so resonating in that way too, I thought made the conversation like go from 100 level course to a 400 level course really fast.
It was a learning curve for me because I never had to run my own software before everybody. And we're giving you a backstory of the show, but that's because Mitch is here. And that was a huge learning curve, but it was really good for me. And as we're growing older, to continue to learn and master technologies, or at least become proficient. I mean, when I run into technical issues, Mitch is the first guy I get a hold of. Like when I run out of memory or something starts acting wonky or something. But that's the thing about having Mitch as a consultant, because Mitch has helped me. And if you hire him as a consultant, he'll pick up the phone and he'll know what's going on. You describe, or he'll do a screen share and he'll look at the computer and go in and fix it. And so that's
my favorite way to do that, Tom, is to be on retainer. 100% is like kind of my preferred way.
There you go. You go. So give him a call. You leave him an email, whatever you want to do. You know, you got the websites now. Go back if you missed any of that.
And I say that too, just because it is, I believe it's for the best case scenario for all involved.
Of course.
For like the team and the support, like you're saying.
Of course. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Absolutely. Finish the thread now. Bounce back into the guest. You were talking about how Debbie, and reinforcing the thoughts and how we're talking about Debbie kind of interviewing me. I never really thought of it that way. But what are some of the other things that you like about her episodes?
Yeah. So that episode was titled Many Phases of Life, Tips for 2026. And, at first I was like, man, is this going to come across a little bit cliche? Because we're going to be talking about goals. And that wasn't the case, or it wouldn't be included in my choices. So it was more of a reflection episode for me. What it made me think about was past goals that I had set. And so that was also a really interesting way that I hadn't checked in with myself about in years. Like when we set goals, when I set a goal and I achieve that goal, okay, well, I'm on to the next one. And what this episode kind of made me realize is that I haven't checked back in often enough on my past like goals I've reached. Like I need to remember to be enthusiastic about that. Like the amount of goals that I have put a lot of work into, got it, and then revisiting that feeling is important. It's like time travel. It's like the one way of time travel that I'm able to actually partake in is remembering what those feelings were at that time when I really need to channel them. And that's what that episode is.
Well, Mitch, you mentioned reinforcement thoughts, but you know what? We diminish we diminish the small wins and big wins that we have, and we seem to always focus. And that's the thing about the reinforcing of what Mitch is talking about with Debbie's Many Phases of Life episode. The whole thing is, don't focus so much on the losses or the bad things. We want to focus on the good things and build on those. We don't put enough. That's why I encourage everyone to have a small wins list and put it on your refrigerator. If I'm coaching you, that's the first thing I'm going to tell you. We want to get a small wins, and I don't care how big it is. It's just any accomplishment you make in that day so that you start to get the feeling of that positive reinforcement for yourself. So exactly. I'm glad that you brought that up and that reinforcement thoughts. That's a really nice term. The next show that you wanted to talk about, we got about 2.5 minutes to go here, and we can set this up and come back and finish it. Go ahead and talk about the next one that you had. I was surprised. I was a little bit surprised by this. Not at all, because we have so many good shows, but I know the guest is going to be happy that you chose this episode.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I was surprised too, because I consider myself an athlete. I played soccer. I played a lot of basketball, and I was on a BMX bike back then. I'm on a BMX bike back again now. But this one was interesting to me. Accelerate Sports Performance, XLR8. And no, I did not choose this because I like XLR cables as well. But XLR8 Sports Performance with Mike Draheim, right?
Draheim, right? Correct.
Yep, Mike Draheim. And so the reason I found this one really interesting was because it was speaking about essentially like specialist training for young kids that are developing in certain areas of sports. Like you have this one kid that really wants to be a goalie or something, and it's really like pinpointed training, but at a very young age. And I just hadn't thought much about that. And so when I heard him talk about it, I was like, man, I don't know if I would do that necessarily for my kids, but if someone is going to be if that's a family dynamic that is important to people, then gosh, that's cool, is what I thought.
Well, one thing about Mike Draheim is he owns Accelerate Sports. He is my grandkids. He's their personal coach on the speed side of things. He has his gym is like Mitch is talking about. He's describing. It's very specific. It's for young people, kids, all the way up through starting in college. And he's a former track guy. And let me tell you guys, I've been to these sessions with my grandkids, and Mike and I have gotten to be friends. That's why he was on the program to promote what he does. Because I believe he's so good, but he's a track guy. And so one thing he can do is he can teach young people how to be quicker, faster, and quickness and speed are very, very important in all sports. And then if he had another specialized sport like hockey, like baseball, like softball, hitting, whatever, he has other coaches that will come in. And he has the facility to do those types of trainings. Mitch Anderson's here with us, everybody. The producer's top shows from the past year and then some. This is the Tom Matt Show.
Thank you again to Brock Fletcher, real estate agent at the selling team with Keller Williams Realty. For more information on services provided by Brock, please call his personal cell phone at 517-303-3262 or by emailing Brock at kwsellingteam.com. This is the Tom Matt Show.
Welcome to the Tom Matt Show.
Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody, to this week's episode of Tom Matt Show. Thank you, Sandy, for bringing us back to that sweet music from Arc of All. And Mitch Anderson produced all that stuff up and put it and inserted it all in and had some great ideas with that. That's the whole thing about it. If you want to do a podcast, you want to do a radio program, think of your podcast as a radio show. Get yourself your own copyrighted music. That's another thing that Mitch Anderson can help you with, because that way you don't have any problem with ASCAP or any of those groups out there, because this stuff it's very specific. You cannot just go borrow professional music, release music. That's not allowed. I mean, you can get slammed for that. So we paid Arc of All and had Mitch coordinate all that, and it worked out well. So
it did.
Mitch, you had a couple of things you wanted to finish with Mike Drahame. The Accelerate Sports was the third show that you really liked this past year. What were those thoughts you had?
Yeah. So the way that I was thinking about it is, so my oldest is playing. I just know he's playing soccer. Both my boys are, but my older is 9, and I was like, gosh, like I don't know where he got that, but his footwork is cool. Like he's not very fast, but he moves a lot in a very small space with the ball. And I was never like that. Like I was good at ping pong, but my feet, oh my gosh, I was clumsy. And so to watch that and be like, man, that would make a lot of sense that if he's moving his feet like that he could just work on rudiments of like ankle quickness and what that would do to the longevity of his game at a younger age. And first and foremost, I believe that if he could harness that, he would be a safer player as well.
That's a very, very valid point. Absolutely. No doubt about it. No question.
And that's really important to me, is safety in sports.
Form and posture as a trainer, everyone. And I'll reinforce this, what Mitch is saying. Mitch Anderson's our guest today, producer's top shows from the past year and then some. But we're talking about one of the shows that Mitch really liked with Mike Drahame and Accelerate Sports. When you teach people how to do the move correctly, and I'm talking about walking, running, all of it, pressing,
getting up. Standing up from a fall it's all the same.
Take it from the bionic man. I'm telling you, part of my problem with the structure of my body, and that's why I had to get, both my knees replaced and a hip here pretty quick, is my form was not that great. It's a genetic thing. So you have to modify what you do to try to accomplish and be a better athlete. And to be a better athlete, you need to be fast, and you need to be nimble, and you need to be flexible, and you need to learn. So it's really good points there, Mitch. You got anything else you want to say about that before we go on to the next show?
No, I think that was good on that one.
All right, that's good, because that gives us plenty of time to talk about the students. And we're kind of glomming these all together, everybody, because you know how I love to introduce to the world these so talented young people from Michigan State University that I met either through LinkedIn, or I met them through, a lot of them I met through the gym in the morning sessions. But the students, we're kind of, as I said, glomming them all together. What do you think, Mitch, about those interviews that I do with the students? Because I have my own feelings about it. I'm so close to the kids, but I'd like to get your opinion on that.
My opinion is that I hear a lot of similarities between my thought process and outlook on entering that phase in life, like post-graduation from university. I graduated a 4-year from Central with a broadcasting degree, and Michigan State also has a phenomenal broadcasting program. But I digressed there. But they do. And I just hear the similarities. And there is most definitely a take over the world belief system that is deep. Yeah. With
these kids are winners. They're winners.
It's there's enthusiasm, I believe, and I feel like it's interesting because we don't know other people's stories. We don't know other people's the ins and outs, right?
How they made the decisions. The thing that I like the most, Mitch, is I always ask the students, well, why did you choose Michigan State? And each story, like you just mentioned, each story is unique. So, for example, I mean, we have, and I'm going to name some names here of this year's shows. A couple of these guests have been on a couple of times, but we've got Anna Thomas, Lucas Ring's been on a couple of times. Carson White's been on a couple of times. Carson White's graduating here next week. He's got a job in California. Dallas Sims he just graduated last year. He's down in Detroit, I believe, doing his business, and he's got his clothing company that he started. I mean, these were all winners. But the latest one that we had, and I told Mitch this show blew up. I had no idea. But Bergen Loprich just got himself a job at Michigan State University. This is a very recent show, and for some reason, it just exploded. I mean, he's just a great guy. All of these kids have tremendous upside. And I'd like to get your take from, for example, the Bergen show, because that's recently. Yeah. So you probably remember producing that one, Mitch.
Oh, I do. And, as an overarching thing, when I was like about uniqueness, where I do believe we all have shared as humans, we can relate. That's one of the beauties that we have, is that we can relate to one another. And within that comes a lot of discovery, which I really like. Like, hearing where these students are going is keeping me on my toes about what are the jobs now. Like, that's a blanket statement, but like, what are people getting hired full time to do in 2026, graduating from college? That stuff, I think, kind of whatever keeps me fresh, right? But with the Bergen show, I had no idea that the brand Barstool Sports has a presence at like every university. And I mean, the reach of that platform is humongous. I knew that just as like Barstool Sports as a standalone, but then he's sharing how many like accounts and followers and everything that he was in control of with Michigan State Barstool Sports social media. Man, I remember when Facebook came out, like I couldn't get it because you had to be invited by somebody who had a college email.
Right. You had to have an EDU. You had to have an EDU email.
Right. And so like, I remember being jealous of people who had like older brother. I was the oldest. I remember being jealous when their like older siblings would invite them and then show everyone, gosh. And so now that's where my head is at. Like, holy cow. So I like learning that stuff. I like hearing that stuff. It's nice to hear excited voices.
It's very refreshing. And again, each of these episodes, and you'll find all of those episodes. If you're curious, everybody, the student stories, if you go to the Spartan Sagas category on the Tom Matt Show website, then you will find them all there. They're all there. And then other MSU, if you have some type of affiliation with the university, you'll find them then. And again, I want to say thank you to all of them, but congratulations to Anna Thomas, who is graduating this next week, Carson White, who's graduating this next week, and Bergen Loprich, who's going to be graduating this week as well. Dallas Sims and Lucas Ring, they graduated last year, and now we're creating another cohort of young people that are coming in that I'm friends with at the gym. I've already been talking to a couple of newbies, and they're getting ready to come on. So the process just continues, and it's just really fun to help the students not only help expand their CV, Mitch, but it gives them that experience, because like a Dallas Sims, he told me that being on the radio show 2 times really helped him in his speaking, because he said he was kind of shy. And I was kind of surprised because I didn't know that about him at all. I didn't have that impression whatsoever. And so, hey, if we can help them, great. And they're all very, very grateful.
And he said radio helped me. That is also super important, because being invited on a podcast, I produce standalone podcasts, and it's great. When you're invited to be on a radio show, it is I know it because I've seen it. I don't know how to identify it, but that is a totally different headspace for people.
Yep.
To be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be on the radio.
Yep.
That is important, because that's a big
very
feeling.
Important.
We can't minimize the big feeling.
You cannot. Thank you for saying that.
I have a wild card inclusion. Do I have time?
Make it quick, because I need your takeaway, or unless you want to just use this as your takeaway.
Kendall Brooks episode. I mean, I think I still get starstruck when there's like a professional athlete being interviewed on the show. Like, that's just cool. And
Yeah.
so that's my wild card inclusion. He was on with Brock, and that from the selling team, Keller Williams, and that was in the Winning Time episode. But that was just cool because I got to listen to Tom have a conversation with a pro football player live on the show, and I felt like I was there. So that's my wild card.
Hey, thanks for talking about, and that was an interesting one because we didn't really talk about reality or real estate too much. We were talking about a lot of the training components that went with Kendall's career. So
it was super interesting because he talked like from a business aspect of what it means to be a young NFL player. That was really cool to hear. Good episode.
You see the draft, and as we record this, the draft is going on, but it's like, it's crazy to see. And they're just regular folk. You know what? I need a 20-second takeaway. You got something?
Yeah, remember this episode has brought out of me to be proud of myself for remembering to reflect on myself. So I think that's about as good as we got.
Excellent. If our show fits your business or group's mission, we want to be of service to you through our guests and topics, issues. Get a hold of Mitch Anderson if you're thinking about doing a podcast. Put him on retainer and get him to do some advising with you as far as equipment goes, as far as any of that kind of information that you need. Sponsorships are available, but there's got to be a fit. Please get a hold of us. Always remember, before you can share love with others, you must love yourself first. Close every show with that. Thank you to Mitch Anderson for what he does, to Sandy, to Brock, to the whole selling team. We will talk to you next weekend, everybody. Have a great week. Go out and ignite your life. Thanks again to Vanessa and my man, Mitch Anderson, our guest today. The Tom Matt Show is a production of Boomers Rock Media. We want to bring your story to life. We are out.
The Tom Matt Show is produced by Mitch Anderson of Black Circle Studios. Original music from the Source of Light and Power by the Ark of All.